Actually invisible in Nigerian fashion industry, which is quite sad.
You are sure at every show you attend that the models will be treated the least best. Every single show.
A lot of models get into the industry at really young ages, so it's like, they're not wise enough at that stage to know what is good or what is not good for them. So people know that and they take advantage of that.
I just feel like it's an idea in a lot of people's heads that, oh, modeling, you're just wearing clothes and you're just standing.
The reason why we see that musicians and designers are blowing globally and models are not is because, you are an 18-year-old. Someone probably saw you on the streets and they say, okay, you fit to be a model. That in its own, they see it as they're giving you an opportunity.
When I started modeling at first, I was pressured to do lots of reshoots. And I think that that's an experience with like so many models as you're starting up, obviously. You don't really know much about how this thing goes, and because, you're trying to build a portfolio for yourself. And I was exploited when I was just starting, you can just use my services because I'm just new in this. And so I did lots of jobs that they were free.
People don't really understand that modeling is like a real job. Like there's still that 1998 mentality where people think it's just a hobby.
I'll never forget my measurements then. I was 31 bust, 24 waist, 35 hips. I was told I was too big. So I developed body dysmorphia over time. I developed eating disorder that literally ended in 2019. This is since 2009.
I've heard, what do you think you are? You think you're a supermodel, you're too skinny, I'm too skinny, at the same time I am too fat, I'm not tall. I mean, someone has said to me they don't like my face. And these are things that sometimes, even me, I think about it, that I don't like my face. And that's just, maybe because the way we are wired as human, but that's just a thing of days of feeling insecure. But they've said different things, just hurtful stuff that can even mess with you as a person.
The plus size lady has to fight for that, to be included in so many things, but it's shifting and they're making a bit of progress, but it can be better.
I remember when I had to walk the runway for a plus size collection, and the producers kept giving us problems about, what to wear, how to wear it, how to walk. I mean, we're models. So I think I would say we knew how to walk the walk and everything, but they just had something out for us. Then I think some of the designers, they would have clothes and they would not cater for the plus size, but we were meant to be part of them.
You don't have to be skinny to be a model. We have plus size models, and not that they didn't used to be there before, but now there's more focus on inclusivity and all that. So there's a lot more that the modeling industry has to offer to a lot of people. So it's not about how tiny you are anymore.
You see, experience of fashion show is crazy that if you are not backstage, you actually don't know anything.
In the backstage, there's not enough seats. So the models can't sit down. They have to stand almost throughout. Even the stylists that are assisting them are standing. Even the designers are standing. People in charge of the shoes, most people are just standing. The models are not well taken care of sometimes. I feel the fact that they are working doesn't mean they shouldn't get to have something to eat while working. So maybe water to always freshen up, not just putting them in lines and making them stand and wait a long while. When they're not even ready to walk the stage yet, they should have time to be able to sit and relax.
All people get to see is, oh, a model just walk out gloriously and then back in, the clothes looks amazing. I mean, I've had cases with interns that we've had to like talk back at each other because I sat somewhere and I was like, if I could sit there, but you think you just needed to insult me and be like, I'm going to report you to someone, thinking that whoever you're reporting me to is going to come and beat me.
I can't remember what show and what year. It finished so late. All the models were so angry, tired, no accommodation. The models had to contribute money to get a hotel room for about, and we all like, it was like 10 of us, we all had to like fit into that room just to sleep and wake up by 6 a.m. to go home the next morning. The organizers didn't care. Nobody cared. And then when it's now time to get your money, you now start hearing one excuse like, oh, the sponsors did not give us the complete. What's it concern me there?
For like some fashion shows, they never used to house the models or keep them. So if you are living in Egbeda or you are living far, Ota, you are coming for a 3-day fashion show from home to the island, which it most definitely is happening. And if you don't have family or friends or anybody living around those areas, you're coming all the way from home, your transport every single day.
I'll never forget a model that almost got raped because she was going home from the show by 2 a.m. in the morning. They didn't give us accommodation. They didn't care. She had to jump into a gutter. She came to the show the next day by 8 a.m. in the morning with bruises all over her leg. Nobody cared. Nobody cared. At the end of every show, there was always a situation where you never really got your full pay. You never really knew how much it was to even start with. Because if you ask, I've been almost kicked off a show because I asked how much I was getting paid.
You know, when it came down to paying the plus size models, you know, there was a big difference with what the slimmer models got and what the plus size models were going to get. Fine, I understand they said, you know, the slimmer models were going to wear more clothes, but even then, for one appearance, what they were giving the plus size models was, nah, it wasn't anything to write home about. So
People don't even expect you to talk about money. They will call you for a shoot and not talk about money. Literally just call you, say everything about the shoot, the idea, how many looks, who's shooting, who is the makeup artist, how it's going to be amazing and wonderful. And then you have to have this uncomfortable silence between the conversation where it's like, oh, I'm supposed to ask how much you're going to pay me for the job that you are talking about, like, to me. If it's just to wear clothes and just standing, you could have asked your sister, you could have worn the clothes yourself.
And there's another side to these things that nobody talks about. There's prostitution inside this thing there. If we're being really, really, really real and honest, there's been situations where I've heard and I've been invited, but you know what you're there for. You know why they called you. You know, like, they expect you to add 2 and 2 together to clock. So at the same time, you see those preferred girls, that's why they are preferred.
People assume that when you put your name in the Sun newspaper, you're a prostitute. So that is why they take your name from that Sun and put it in their shower news. And I think that was where people were calling me from. Men and women were calling me to ask for sex. And that was not what I wanted. I wanted to launch into the modeling agency. But they were asking me for something that I could not give to them. I remember one called me and told me she had women that wanted me to sleep with them in Benin Republic. And I told her, I said, I didn't put my picture on the Sun newspaper because I wanted to have sex with people. I wanted something that would take me, or a breakthrough into the modeling industry.
The things that go on, even with people that are meant to be your protectors and your guardians in your agency, within your agency, it's scary. I've had a situation where someone called me for a job, like, it's meant to be on some magazine that is meant to be distributed in, like, East African countries, and as the conversation went on, he's like, but I have to come to this hotel at like 9 p.m. and I'll meet like the people on the board of the magazine. I'm just like, I've not even agreed to anything. Why do I have to come to a hotel at 9 p.m. for that matter to meet people on the board of the magazine? It's not sitting right with me. I never went, but like for some other girl that just sees it as an opportunity, she would have gone and she would have nobody to tell her like what's right or what's wrong. Or once you find yourself in that situation, it's either you do what they ask you to do or fear of you never get an opportunity like this again.
There was one particular man, and he called me that he was in Lagos, and he said I remind him of his daughter, that I should come to Agege, that he wants to see me and he wants to help me so that I would become big. I said, okay, no problem. So I went that day from First Act to Agege, and then he said we should meet in his hotel room. I said, okay, no problem, sir. We got to his hotel room, we sat, and then he got talking and he said, I'm going to help you. He brought out his check, and then he said, this is me, I'm going to sign you a check right now. I was happy. This is something I wanted, but he said on a condition that I would have to sleep with him.
We started a social media campaign. The major names, Mannequin, Kwen Akumaye, the Ujus, Neka, Cassandra Davis, myself, there were a bunch of boys. So we created like this group on WhatsApp and we was discussing, like this is the second year in a row, they're chopping our money off with some dumbass excuse. So we decided to do a social media campaign, #models not slaves. And guess what? We got blacklisted.
And that was how I moved into gender-based violence advocacy. I said advocating against gender-based violence. And because I live in Ajegunle, I grew up there. I saw what young girls were doing. I saw teenage pregnancy because people were taking advantage of these girls.
I do not exactly feel secure, as a model in Nigeria. It's quite sad. I would really want that to change, to be honest. That's why I'm doing several other things. I'm not just a fashion model, and I wouldn't even advise, I really hope things change, but as of now, it's important that you are doing other things that are getting you money, that you're making money out of.
The industry, the career is fickle, it's really shallow, it's really short-lived. And I saw a lot of models focus so heavily on modeling that when that career was over, there was nothing else they could do because they didn't use the opportunity to use that platform to build other things.
I think I've learned to build my confidence up. When they say that coming into an industry like modeling is, you have to have tough skin. It's not just saying it, you really do have to build tougher skin, because people just say anything.
My solution was be the best of the best so that nobody has an excuse to say anything to you.
If models start to, speak up for themselves, then the industry would, become better in terms of how people value models. Don't be afraid of not being likable.